Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we will learn about layers, how to organize them, their blending modes and clipping mask. When you open your canvas you will see two layers by default. One is background and the other one is normal layer. You can think of background layer as sheet of paper. You can't see through it. Background layer by default is locked. You can't do anything on it unless you unlock the layer. Generally, you should not work on this layer. If you want, you can change the color. Another layer is named as layer 1 and it sits on top of the background layer. This layer is transparent. You can turn this transparent layer into a solid layer by filling some color into this, let's say red. This also enables you to use this transparent layer as your background layer. That means that your background layer is nothing but a transparent layer, a normal layer that is filled with a solid color. That's why you can't see through your background layer. Let's try this. Unlock the background layer. Now take the bucket tool, select any color you want and fill this layer. Let's do the same but with the layer above the background layer, which is the transparent layer. If you can see, it works just like a background layer if you fill it with a solid color. This eye like icon is used to hide or unhide the layer. Now let's see how do we organize these layers. First is renaming. You can give any name to your layer. You can add new layer or delete the existing one, and you can create a group of multiple layers. Let's understand through some examples. Draw a sketch of the flower on a fresh layer. Now create another layer and fill the flower with some colors. Similarly, create another layer and fill the flower with some different color. You are still indecisive, so let's create another layer and fill the flower with a different color. Now you have 3 layers, each with different color for the flower. Tap twice on the layer to rename it. Give layers some meaningful names. You can create as many layers as you want. The more layers, the more flexibility you will have. Long press on the layer and you will see many options. Choose group, quick group. That will create a group and put your layer inside that group. You can name this group whatever you want. Here I'm giving name flower colors. I will use this up arrow to move layers above, meaning inside the group. I will rename the layer where I drew the sketch of the flower as sketch. You can see how it all makes sense. It is like file structure where your layers are like files and your group is like folder that can hold as many files as you want. Now let's understand why do we need lock feature. Now you have multiple layers and let's say green and blue both layers are visible. You want to color on green one but by mistake you colored on the blue layer. See, you have just ruined the blue layer. To avoid such scenarios we use lock feature. I have locked the blue layer. Now I can draw easily on green layer, but the moment I switch to the blue layer, it gives me warning saying layer is locked and it won't let me do any changes on the blue layer. You can lock whole group. Green layer is still unlocked, but if I try to draw, it will not let you. It will give you warning saying group not editable. To change the opacity of the layer, click on the layer and drag the opacity bar. Low opacity helps in tracing. Let's say you have created a rough sketch. Now you want to create your final sketch. You can set the opacity of your rough sketch layer very low. Create a new layer over it and now you can trace over the rough sketch. Now let's look at some blending modes of the layer. In normal blending mode, your colors will show as it is. In overlay blending mode, you can create highlights and shadows. Multiply layer is used to create shadows. It only creates darker colors. As the name suggests, it multiplies the color. Hence, it only gives you darker colors. Lighten layer is opposite of multiply layer. It only gives you lighter shades of the color used in the layer below. You can notice there is no change for the darker shades. Only for the lighter shades it is showing you some change. Color dodge layer. It will only make any change if the color selected is not black. If the color selected is black, there shall not be any change. Color of the layer below does not matter. You can use this blending mode to create highlights. Things will only get clear once you experiment with all the blending modes and see what fits for your need. Now let's understand how alpha lock works. Let's create a new layer and draw over this flower. Click on this grid-like icon. This is known as alpha lock. Now select a different color and draw over your flower. You can see your strokes are not going outside the boundary of the color you have applied before. It magically appears only inside the boundaries. That's what alpha lock does. This is great when you do shading. Alpha lock enables you to draw only on the active pixels. Alpha inherit does the same thing but on a different layer. Choose Quick Clipping Group from layer options. It will create a new layer over your original layer, and when you draw on this new layer, it will work similar to the alpha lock feature. You can only draw on the active pixel parts but not on the outer parts. Notice the A-like icon is enabled. That is called Alpha Inherit. If you disable this icon, you can draw anywhere on this layer, just like a normal layer. Alpha lock works the same on this layer as well. You can use alpha lock and inherit lock separately or both together as per your needs. Let's try something interesting. Create a new layer and draw a sketch over it. In layer options, go to Add Colorized Mask. It will create a colorized mask layer. Now draw little hints of the color you want to fill your sketch with. Click on the circle-like icon on the layer. It will fill your sketch with the colors you chose earlier. Click on this pencil-like icon to see the final product. You can use the square-like button to duplicate the layer. Now let's see what transparency mask is. In the layers options, go to Add and click on Add Transparency Mask. As the name suggests, it can make parts of your drawing transparent. If you draw over with the black color, it will make your sketch transparent. As you move towards the white color, it will make your sketch reappear slowly. You can use this feature to remove details from your drawing without actually removing them. Now let's see how filter mask works. Go to layer options, add filter mask, and from here you will find plenty of options from where you can change the colors. You can change the saturation or luminosity. You will find many great options in this filter mask. If you want to work simultaneously on two layers, there is an option called Clone Layer. Go to Add, click on Add Clone Layer. Now any changes made on one layer will automatically update the other layer, or vice versa. Here is a bonus tip for you. Go to Add Fill Layer, then Select patterns. You can choose whichever pattern of your liking. Click OK. Change the blending mode of layer to overlay and you can see those patterns reflect on your sketch. Make sure that this layer is on top of all of your layers. It gives an effect that your drawing is drawn on a real paper. You can select the pattern or the opacity to your liking. This concludes this tutorial. I strongly request you to try all this by yourself. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something from it. Please don't forget to comment about how can I improve on these tutorials. I wish you all the best. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I see you in the next video. Bye.